University of Rhode Island professor Johanna Harvey. Professor Harvey, you study immunogenetics. So how concerned should we be about bird flu cases in Rhode Island?
Yeah, so in wild birds, the concern right now is pretty high. We are seeing an increase in wild bird suspected infections and detected infections, sort of along the Northeast Atlantic. And this is an increase over time. This began in like late 2021. We saw some dips, we saw very few detections, and currently we're seeing an increase in detections in wild bird infections.
So Rhode Island is obviously taking some measures, but from what I understand, we're only testing flocks if illness is suspected. Should they be testing other flocks as well to see how widespread the problem is, or is that just standard?
That's correct. So some of that is due to like limited capacity. Number of wild birds is quite large, which we don't have the capacity to test all birds. As we detect more infections, that can give us more information for like which species we should be pursuing, we should be testing. But we could be improving our surveillance by seasonally, as birds migrate in and they bring viruses, as birds are migrating back down from northern wintering grounds. There should be some plan to begin to like assess these movements and kind of like get at the forefront of those movements and possible infections.
With the bird flu, is this something that can be contained? I mean, do you see an end in sight?
Yeah, so the problem right now is that bird flu as it is now compared to what we knew previously historically, where a pathogen would spill over to poultry and then become a high path, and then it would sort of like, it could spread farm to farm, but it would sort of die out. And right now what we're seeing is different. We are seeing a persistent circulation or an endemism of this disease in wild birds. So therefore it's constantly circulating in wild birds. We're going to see changes. We're going to see ebbs and flow like we see in human viruses, right? But given that endemism, it is not likely eradicatable because it is so widespread in so many species of, particularly so many species of wild birds now. And is there any containment possible? It's not very likely currently. That sounds sort of dire, but that's pretty accurate.
Right, so taking a different approach
Yeah.
other than containment. All right, Professor Harvey, well, thanks for joining us today and talking about this and breaking it all down, because we know it can be a very complicated issue, especially with, like you said, how this is changing so frequently.
Thank you.